Hi and welcome. I feel the desire to come online and share something, but in a classic generator style, I need something to respond to. So I don't really know what we're going to talk about, and which is why you can see I'm shuffling the deck. And let's see what wants to channel through me today. Okay, let's talk about patterns. Let's talk about patterns because our card is round and round. This is so interesting because I feel where I am right now in my life, it does feel like a pattern, but also in a way breaking the pattern. So, is there anything in your life which you feel like just keeps on looping over and over and over and over again? And you're like, what the, like, why is it happening over and over again the same way? Like, I have tried to run away from it, I've tried to do something, like, gone so far away from it, tried to dissociate and disconnect myself from it. Why is it happening? Just the same way over again. Ourselves have always signed up for few contracts. Okay, we have signed up for few contracts, and there's a cycle which is meant to be played out in our relationships, in our connections, in our lives, sometimes in our career or in the places that we move. There are these predestined contracts that we sign, and we sign these karmic contracts so that we can learn from these lessons. And then there comes a time when it's time to wrap up the cycle. And when you are wrapping up the cycle, that's when you are being asked to show. And it's so interesting that I'm talking about this as my Saturn return comes to a close next year in March. So there's still 4 months, but I can feel it in the air and how everything plays out, that it's like we are wrapping up a cycle. So yes, it's like right before the cycle is wrapping up, right before you're moving into a fresh new cycle, because life happens in cycle, you will be tested. You know, every time the test comes in and you're being tested. And the test is about, have you learned your lessons? Have you learned what this pattern has been trying to share or teach you? And again, if you're going to see this pattern from that same perspective as when you started your cycle, it's going to be hard because it can show up in many different illusions. But if you have really been ascending, if you've really been kind of like self reflecting, then when you're coming at the end of a cycle, and which we all are actually right now, whenever you're watching this, we are culminating a big cycle right now from 2012 to 2022. Remember 2012, they said the world is ending. Well, the world didn't end. The Mayan calendar surely did. Um, but we are in a space of closure. And with this closure comes disclosure. The disclosure of what's next, what's where, what are we going to do about these lessons that we have learned? What are we going to do about these lessons that we have learned? How are we going to share it? How are we going to live through it? How are we going to channel life through it? So when we have this energy of like something repeating and it happens one last time, the same way as it's always happened, like, damn, I thought I've done the work and I've come so far. um, Maybe life is asking you to look at it in a different way. Maybe there is, and for all of us, it will look different. But what is it that you didn't see the last time? What is it that you didn't learn the last time? For me, what's coming is dropping the sword. It's choosing to be happy rather than be right. It's choosing love rather than being right. It's dropping the fights which only lead to conflict. And for you, it could just feel different. But that's what it is for me. How am I not gonna stick to my ego this time, which asks me to prove myself as right or see myself as right? But instead, surrender to being what feels good to me, what feels right in my heart, not so much in my mind, just like, but so much in my heart. What is it that I really want? What is it that I really desire? Which could be a blow to my egoic mind, but really surrendering to a place where I'm like, I don't care if I'm right or wrong anymore this time around. I just want to be happy. I'm choosing love over being right, and I don't want to fight anymore. And that's what's coming up for me. And this energy is really about choosing a path that you have been very afraid to choose because your mind felt that it was not safe and there was resistance on that path. But how this time around can you shift things by just choosing your heart, by not doing something that you've always done in patterns, right? And this is not so much about doing, I feel, for a lot of us. This is about just looking at things differently. And maybe then doing, of course, but mostly looking at things differently. Um, and when we reprogram a mindset, we work with the patterns, right? Um, Gate 44 in human design. It's a very interesting gate. My sister has it, and a few people I know have it. And it's about so my sister is really good at identifying patterns, uh, and she's so brilliant at shadow work, I feel like. uh, and she completes my channel in human design 44. Like I have the 26, the opposite gate, and she completes that channel for me. So I really get that sense of completion with her when she's around. Like I get a lot of clarity when she's around. I can see my patterns right through, and I can just, even when she doesn't even speak a word, that's what is with energy. I can feel that energy and I can walk through it. 26 is in the heart. It's in the heart, and 44 is in the spleen. 44 is really the energy of breaking patterns, doing something different. This is the work that we do when we are reprogramming our mindset. We have been born with certain patterns. We have been born with certain codings from our ancestral lineage. Are we going to like repeat the same things, or are we here to create something new, do something new, make a different choice? How can you make a different choice? How can you look at things in a different way that you've never looked before? How can you choose to be happy rather than being right? I think now that we're talking about patterns, I think I would love to talk about Gate 44. Uh, it's such an interesting energy. It's called the pattern interrupter. It's the energy to practice forgiveness and learn from mistakes. That's what we started this. That's what I started to say, right? I decided to put down the sword this time to say I'm sorry, to forgive and be forgiven instead of holding on the grudge, instead of just trying to prove myself right. And this is something which I've never done before. This is the pattern interrupter. So I'll read out some facts about gate 44. It's called the pattern interrupter, and in an action, it's to practice forgiveness and learn from the mistakes. It's seeing patterns, the past transformation, and the possibility. The human design definition of it is the success of any interaction is based on the absence of any preconditions. And its core theme is fear of the past. So, of course, we repeat the patterns very unknowingly. It's not like we know it and then we're repeating it, but we repeat it very, very unknowingly. And we, it's like there's something you fear so much. You don't want it, and you don't want it, and you don't want it, and you still reach exactly there. The more you resist, the more it persists. Like, I just don't want this to repeat, and exactly the same thing happens. And you're like, see, your patterns get to say, see, I told you. Your mind gets to say, see, I told you. It always happens. You always fail. You always lose. Your heart always gets broken, right? And this is really that energy of not listening to your mind at that point. Finally giving into your heart space. Finally interrupting that pattern of focusing all your energy on what you don't want, don't want, don't want, don't want. Finally learning from that lesson, from those things, and giving into giving into I'm not getting that word, but it's giving into the heart. And I think one of the ways in which we can interrupt these patterns is by introducing our mind to expansions. Yeah, you have to show yourself different possibilities. You have to show yourself new possibilities. You have to introduce yourself to new possibilities and then place your trust in it. And that's how you break out of it. It's a very Scorpio energy, and which is why it requires alchemy. Breaking patterns and moving from one cycle to next cycle, what we are experiencing right now is a very alchemical process of transforming shadows into light. Every moment holds the potential for healing and transformation. Every moment. So you don't repeat patterns in one day, right? It happens over time. Round and round and round. So there are two messages for this one. A, if you are seeing something repeat, don't ignore it. Okay? This is here for a reason. Like, you ran away, oh, so far away from it, and it's back here. Why? What is it here trying to show you? What can you do differently this time? What is it reminding you? For me, it's like reminding me of what I really want. It's reminding me of my higher knowing. Higher knowing. For me, this is trusting myself more than anything outside of me, trusting my own inner authority more than anything outside of me. So many times I have given away to trust other people, trust other things, and it feels like the whole cycle repeats itself to say, do you now trust yourself? Or should we do it like once more? Do you now surrender to yourself in your inner knowing, in your heart? Or should we like do round two? I don't want round two, please. It's scary to trust yourself. Actually, this video should have been about trusting yourself because my entire week has been about trusting myself. No matter what it looks on the outside. Because whatever, like so many times we're upset about the things which are just on the surface. Like you're not even upset about those things. I might be making the rest of the video just closing my eyes because like the sun is just but yeah, it's not even about those things. It's about those deep the patterns which are just lying dormant and running the show. And I've done a lot of mindset work. It continues to show up, continues to show up, and I hate it. Which is why I love my sister's energy, because she's just like, the gate 44 is just like, hey, this is the pattern. So it's so much easier when someone can pinpoint that and bring it to you. How can you trust yourself? How can you interrupt the pattern of giving away your authority over and over to other things, other places, other people, other situations? How can you trust yourself this time? No matter whatever the outcome looks. How can you maybe detach from the outcome? And trust yourself for the heck of trusting yourself, not for the outcome per se, but how it makes you feel. Because I just posted on Instagram, I think, a little poem, like how it feels, the frequency of trust. And as a manifesting generator, it does feel satisfying to trust myself. It's so satisfying when I'm in trust with myself. Ooh, like I can trust myself. So this is how this energy is playing out in my life currently. This is how the pattern is being interrupted right now for me. I was about to talk about 26, but I don't see it. 26 is the energy to believe in the abundant future for everyone. It's called the sacred salesperson. If you followed me, if you followed my journey, if you followed my work in any way, like even when I was a freelance writer, actually, you would just, and if you've known me personally ever, I am someone who talks a lot about dreams. I'm someone who's, my company is called Dream Life Lounge for a reason. I really sell dreams. I really make people believe in this infinite energy of trust, of expansion, of dreams, like manifesting your dreams in reality. If you can see it, you can have it. If you spend just some time in my energy with a defined heart, you would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and start that thing that I wanted to start. That's just the defined ego. But when I'm not supported by the 44, I can get lost because I don't know how to complete that channel. I don't know how to really trust into myself, because the patterns are like the 44 is so the channel which is not defined, it kind of like it's conditioned, it's open. So there can be good conditioning, there can be bad conditioning, right? So my 44 has a mix of all. So when I'm not in my energy, the 44 can really tell me, oh my god, you're repeating patterns, oh my god, you are committing a mistake, it'll again happen, don't do it, don't go, it's not worth it, it's futile to go after your dreams, don't sell that dream, don't follow that dream, it's not worth it. It asks me to not trust myself, to not trust my heart. A lot of times there's a lot of fear which kind of like the 44 kind of like echoes sometimes, And sometimes it can also be the fear of someone who is next to me who probably has a 44 defined. But it is really, 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 I think if 44 energy plays out in our life only to remind us that it's safe to trust ourselves. It's safe to learn from our mistakes instead of dwelling on how bad things went or what we did wrong. Just surrendering to the what is, and like really, like, just being like, we did a workshop this week and the turnout was not that great, and I was very, very, very hurt. But now that I'm just seeing around, it's like it's just the energetic climate right now. It's Christmas, and it's just how it is right now, and it's okay. Now, does that mean I'm not here to do workshops? I should not be a teacher, and that's what this not self has, echoed for so long. If something doesn't work out, then that means you're supposed to just leave and go, and like your dream was not worth it. And I'm like, can I just learn from whatever conspired? Can I forgive myself first? Yeah, this is the energy of 44. Learning from our mistakes, forgiving ourselves for whatever mistakes we did, because every pattern that you repeat is here to show you, okay, yeah, you did that, but can you forgive yourself? Can you forgive other people? Can you forgive the past and do it a little differently this time? It doesn't mean don't do it. I mean, of course, for all of us, situations look different, but yeah. I'm gonna leave you with this. Uh, it might feel hanging, so just journal on it, see whatever comes up. But these are like very random vlog style teachings. I don't have a pen, I don't have a paper. Whatever's flowing in, it's flowing in. If it resonates with you, I'm sure you will find it. And yeah, I'll see you probably with a new energy next time. Take care. I'll see you soon.